My name is Eleanor Whitaker. I'm 58 years old, and on the 22nd of December, at 4:17 in the afternoon, I was standing in my kitchen in St. Paul, Minnesota, peeling carrots for a soup I would end up eating alone, when my younger brother called to tell me I was not invited to Christmas. He didn't shout. He didn't stutter. He said it the way executives cancel vendors. Calm. Practiced. Ellie, listen. Christmas Eve at Mom and Dad's has sort of evolved this year. It's more of a high-level networking evening. Investors. Partners. I think your presence would make everyone uncomfortable. I watched the steam rise off the pot. In the window above the sink there was a small framed photo, taped at the corner. Me at 34, flower on my cheek, laughing, with my parents on either side and Ryan, all of 19, grinning with braces still on, his arm around my shoulder like I hung the moon. I said, I understand. I did understand. Far more than he believed I did. He thought he was editing out an aging older sister who had become inconvenient. What he didn't know was that I had spent 26 years building the privately held company whose name was printed on the Christmas invitations he'd just mailed, and that 3 weeks earlier I had finally stopped waiting for him to do the right thing and greenlit the audit. Before I tell you what happened at 12:04 on Christmas morning, tell me something. What time is it where you are right now, and where are you watching from? I read every city. I always wonder how far a calm verdict travels. People assume betrayal starts loud. It doesn't. Not in families. In families it starts quiet. It starts with a small discount applied to your credibility, repeated monthly until everyone forgets the original price. I founded North Star Sentinel in 1999, in a second-floor walk-up above a shuttered hardware store on University Avenue in St. Paul. Fraud detection middleware for community banks. Not glamorous. Necessary. Still private. Still founder-controlled. I wrote the first risk-scoring engine myself in C++. I slept under my desk on Tuesdays and Thursdays for 2 years because rent at home and rent at the office could not coexist. I ate gas station oatmeal for so long I can still taste the cinnamon plastic spoon. When a woman builds something alone, people applaud you right up until the moment they can picture themselves sitting in your chair. Ryan joined us 12 years later. Kellogg MBA. Beautiful suits. A smile that knew exactly which teeth to show donors. He was 15 years younger than me, charming in rooms where I was blunt, fluent in LinkedIn where I was fluent in logs. At first I was proud. Genuinely. I thought, good, he will protect what I built when I am tired. Instead, he studied how to inherit it while I was still breathing. North Star was never a unicorn on a billboard. It was better. It was infrastructure. By 2018 we were screening 42 million transactions a day for 117 regional banks. Quiet money. Recurring money. Private company. No public ticker. Just clients who trust our name on a SOC2 report. I held 34% as founder, with a founder board chair seat and signatory control written into our operating agreement. Ryan, brought in as VP of Strategic Partnerships, held 4%, vested over 4 years, no board seat. My parents held a small friends and family slice from 2002, less than 2% combined. Enough to feel invested at Thanksgiving. Enough, eventually, to be weaponized. Ryan was good at the thing I never cared to master, narrative. He could take a 6-month compliance slog and turn it into a 3-slide story investors repeated at dinner. I didn't mind. Somebody has to sell. I just assumed the person selling would still credit the person soldering. The first rail warning was not a boardroom. It was a cabin. February. Door County. A family reset Ryan organized. My parents flew in from Naples. Fireplace. Old photo albums. For one fragile evening it almost felt uncorrupted. After dinner, Ryan found me on the deck with lake snow blowing sideways. Ellie, that behavioral layering model you've been quiet about, he said, smiling. Admiring. How are you flagging mule network velocity without drowning analysts in false positives? Only someone who had been reading my private commit notes would ask that specifically. I answered more than I should have. Not code. Architecture. Enough to sketch a map. I saw, for half a second, the reflection of his phone screen in the glass door behind him. Red dot recording. I told myself I imagined it. 3 weeks later, language from that deck conversation appeared verbatim in an internal North Star Next strategy memo. Author, Ryan Whitaker. My name nowhere. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He dissolved it. We're aligned thinkers, L synergy. That's what good siblings do. Then he called our parents before I could. Within 48 hours my mother was asking, gently, why I had become so territorial. Why I couldn't just be happy Ryan was good with people. My father, who had watched me debug at a kitchen table until 2 a.m. for a decade, told me I had always been brilliant, but Ellie, you lack polish. Polish. The machine they were applauding was my wiring. The conversation had become about my tone. That is the cruelty of family betrayal. Your instincts file a police report months before your heart will sign it. So I started documenting. Quietly. Thoroughly. 19 months ago. Every email thread exported with headers. Every meeting, a follow-up summary, timestamped. Repository snapshots weekly, notarized. A voice memo in my car after every strange conversation, date-stamped, transcribed. In May, 17 months into that quiet log, I drove to Milwaukee and sat with an IP attorney for 4 hours under the cover of a compliance conference. He looked at my timeline and said a sentence I keep taped inside my desk: the most dangerous thief is the one who believes access is ownership. I signed a forensic custody chain with shaking hands. Not because I doubted Ryan anymore. Because I hated what accepting the truth required me to do next. Ryan didn't need to be smarter than me. He needed my family to repeat his version faster than I could correct it. He fed them slowly. A brunch comment here. I'm worried about Ellie, she's been under so much stress there. By autumn, the family group chat had a rhythm. Ryan posted wins. I posted corrections. Corrections read as bitter. Wins read as generous. At Thanksgiving he announced, casually, that North Star would be hosting an intimate partner Christmas Eve at our parents' lake house in Minnetonka. Private bank partners. No press. My parents beamed. I, the founder, learned about my own company's partner evening from a sweet potato casserole. When I asked, privately, why I hadn't been looped, he said, it's optics. You're technical. Let me handle the room. Optics. Another word for erasure with better lighting. I went home that night and updated my documentation log. November 23, 9:42 p.m. Incident 17. Exclusion from founder-level partner event. Witnesses, 14 family members. 2 weeks later, December 9, Ryan circulated an emergency board consent, not to touch my shares, he can't, our charter supervoting is locked, but to strip my board chair, suspend my founder signatory proxy, and reassign all executive signatory authority to himself, citing founder medical leave operational continuity. Translation: an administrative coup while I was on a pre-approved, fully disclosed medical leave for a minor procedure. It was a governance end run, not a charter amendment. Technically fileable. Ethically rotten. The consent failed by 1 vote. Mine, by proxy, because 19 months of documentation had taught me to anticipate December. He never told the family that part. What the family did get was a carefully edited story. Eleanor is difficult. Eleanor is territorial. Eleanor is getting older in a young industry. Wouldn't it be kinder, for everyone's comfort, if Christmas were simpler this year? Which brings us to December 22nd. 4:17 p.m. Carrots. Steam. The phone call. I think your presence would make everyone uncomfortable. I said, I understand. I hung up. I finished the soup. I ate it alone, at my table, with the framed photo watching me from the windowsill. I did not cry. I opened my laptop. I opened a folder labeled Verdict. People ask me if revenge is loud. Mine wasn't. Mine was clerical. For 19 months I had been building a calm case. Not angry. Evidentiary. Patent assignments with my sole inventor signature, 2001 through 2023. Source control commits with cryptographic timestamps. The Door County voice memo. The Milwaukee attorney custody chain. The failed December 9th chair stripping consent with my proxy objection attached. 3 weeks before Ryan's Christmas call, right after that failed December 9th coup attempt, I stopped waiting for him to do the right thing and greenlit the audit. Formally. In writing. Through outside counsel. North Star's audit committee, which I still chaired, received, through proper counsel channels, a sealed forensic summary, unauthorized exfiltration of proprietary behavioral models, misattribution in partner materials, and attempted coercive removal of founder board authority during a protected medical leave. The committee was independent. 3 outside directors. 0 Whitakers. They acted faster than I expected. On December 23 at 9 a.m., while Ryan was arranging centerpieces at my parents' lake house and rehearsing his year-in-review toast, North Star's general counsel delivered a preservation notice to his company devices. At 11:30, the audit chair called an emergency executive session for December 24 at 8 p.m., remote, recorded, 1 hour before Ryan's partner Christmas Eve. Ryan didn't know yet. He was busy telling our cousin that I'd decided to spend a quiet Christmas alone, you know how Ellie is. I spent December 24 alone in my apartment in St. Paul. Tree with white lights. Soup again, intentionally. At 7:55 p.m. I logged into the secure board portal with 2 outside counsel on the line. My camera off. My voice steady. At 8:03, the audit chair read findings into record. At 8:19, Ryan was removed as an officer, effective immediately, pending investigation, with all system access suspended in real time via our MDM. At 8:27, a corrective press release and a formal regulatory notice to our State Financial Compliance Board and all 117 partner banks was authorized for distribution at market open December 26, naming founder control reaffirmed and executive transition underway. Private company. No 8K, proper partner disclosure. Clean. At 8:31, while violins played in my parents' living room in Minnetonka and Ryan lifted a glass to thank the family that made all this possible, the North Star investor laptop on the podium, the one driving his slides, hard-locked. The screen didn't stutter. It didn't buffer. Our MDM pushed. Full screen, corporate red banner, device locked by administrator contact, North Star Security, case AUD 2024-1224. His Bluetooth clicker went dead instantly, because the host laptop was frozen, not because a clicker can be remote killed. The projector held that red lock screen, 12 feet wide, over a room full of community bank presidents holding champagne. The room went silent. Ryan tapped the clicker. Twice. Then slapped the laptop trackpad. Nothing. He smiled, tight, and said into the mic, shaking just slightly, looks like we lost Wi-Fi, folks, give me 1 second. It wasn't Wi-Fi. It was verdict. A private company security lock, time-stamped, logged, witnessed by 14 partners and both our parents. He thought, for maybe 20 seconds, he could reboot his way out. He couldn't. Security had bricked the device at the firmware level pending forensic imaging. Exactly as documented. I did not watch. I sat with my soup cooling and my phone face down. At 11:49 p.m., it vibrated. Mom. Then Dad. Then Mom again. Then Ryan, twice, blocked automatically by the quiet hours filter my attorney had helped me set 3 months prior, not out of cruelty, out of preservation. At 12:04 a.m., Christmas morning, my mother called again and left a voicemail, voice shaking so badly I had to play it twice to understand. Ellie? Ellie honey, what's on the news alerts? Ryan is, baby, what did you do? Call me. There was nothing public on the news yet. The press release was embargoed until the 26th. What she was hearing was a room full of bank partners watching a man lose a locked laptop in real time, while trying to explain that his sister, the inconvenient, unpolished, uncomfortable older sister, was merely taking some personal time. Partner phones vibrate faster than news alerts. Especially when a $200 million private fraud platform suddenly shows a security case number on a Christmas Eve screen. I called my parents back at 7:10 Christmas morning. Calm. Verdict calm. I did not raise my voice. I did not list 19 months of documentation. I said, Mom, Dad, I love you. Ryan is safe. He is home. North Star is safe. I am safe. What happened last night was not revenge. It was consequence. There is a difference, and I need you to learn it before we sit at another table together. My father was quiet a long time. Then, Ellie, why didn't you tell us? I did, I said. 17 times. In writing. Dated. Logged. You chose polish over proof. That choice has a cost. Ryan called at 9:14. Different voice. Smaller. Ellie. Please. I said, Ryan. You told me my presence would make everyone uncomfortable. You were right. Accountability always makes a thief uncomfortable. Come home in January with counsel, with a full accounting, and with an apology that names what you took. Not if I hurt you. What? You. Took. Until then, Merry Christmas. Eat the carrots. They're good for your eyes. You'll need clear vision for the next chapter. I hung up gently. Here is my calm verdict, for anyone listening who has a Ryan in their family, a golden child with good teeth and bad boundaries. True strength is not measured by how loudly we win, but by how wisely we prepare. Every challenge in life can become a lesson when we choose documentation over drama, patience over panic, and knowledge over pride. The people who erase you do not define your future, your records, your discipline, and your quiet courage do. Keep learning. Keep building. Keep protecting what you built with your own hands at 2 a.m. under a $38 desk lamp, because knowledge gives you clarity, and a clean paper trail gives you the power to rise without losing yourself. Regret is heavy. A verdict delivered calmly is heavier. I'm Eleanor Whitaker. I'm 58. I spent Christmas Eve alone, on purpose, with soup, with proof, and with peace. If this story found you on a hard holiday, tell me where you're watching from below. I read every city. I'm Calm Verdict Stories. I'll see you in the next one. Here is my calm verdict, for anyone listening who just gave 5 years to someone who left everything to the golden child who showed up 8 weeks in 5 years. True strength is not measured by how loudly we win at a will reading, but by how quietly we document every single day before it, so that when the envelope opens and your name isn't inside except on a $17 Timex, you can slide keys, a binder, and a perfected lien across a walnut table, say one word, congrats, stand up, and walk out with your spine straight, because sunshine is beautiful, sisters, but you cannot stand up with sunshine. Keep the binder. Keep the receipts. Keep the letters in the nightstand, dated, witnessed. Keep learning, keep charting, keep protecting your value, because knowledge gives you clarity, and a clean paper trail gives you the power to rise without losing yourself, even when your own father forgets to put your name in ink. Regret is heavy. Especially inherited regret. A calm verdict, delivered at 2:14 a.m. over a kitchen floor in Iowa, with the smell of bakery flour rising through the vents while your golden child sister finally reads a letter she should have read 5 years ago, that is heavier. I'm Ruth Keller. I'm 52. I gave 5 years. I got a Timex. I also got a $211,400 perfected caregiver lien, a clear conscience, a 490 square foot studio that smells like bread at 2 a.m., and peace. If this story found you mid-sacrifice, tell me where you're watching from below, and how many years you've given. I read every city. I count every year. I'm Calm Verdict Story. I'll see you in the next one.